MahaShivratri, or the Great Night of Lord Shiva, is a famous Hindu festival celebrated each year in reverence of Lord Shiva, the Hindu god of destruction and regeneration. Shivaratri is celebrated on the 13th night and 14th day of every lunar month. The Shivaratri in the month of Phalgun, the last month of Hindu calendar, is MahaShivratri, which means the Great Night of Shiva. There are various interesting legends related to the festival of MahaShivratri. According to one of the most popular legends, MahaShivratri marks the wedding day of Lord Shiva and Goddess Parvati. Some believe that it was on the auspicious night of MahaShivratri that Lord Shiva performed the Tandav, the dance of the primal creation, preservation and destruction. The story tells us how Lord Shiva got married a second time to Shakti, his divine consort. According to legend of Shiva and Shakti, the day Lord Shiva got married to Goddess Parvati is celebrated as MahaShivratri. The second most popular event related to Shivaratri is the Samudra Manthan. During the churning of the ocean, that is the Samudra Manthan, a pot of poison emerged out of it. This poison was extremely toxic and had the power to destroy the universe. To save his creation, Lord Shiva drank the poison that turned his throat blue, and thus Lord Shiva came to be known as Nilakant. He then had to stay awake the whole night to counter the effect of the poison. Since then, the auspicious night is celebrated as MahaShivratri, the night when Lord Shiva saved the world. The third most popular legend behind MahaShivratri is Lingodbhava. The legend of the origin of Shivlingam, or the Lingodbhava, is deeply related to MahaShivratri. The legend narrates the story of vain search by Brahma and Vishnu to discover the beginning and the end of Lord Shiva. The legend thus proves the supremacy of Lord Shiva over other Hindu gods and explains why the Shivlingam is believed to be one of the most potent emblems in Hindu ideals. The story is stated in the three of the Puranas, the Kurma Purana, the Vayu Purana and the Shiva Mahapurana. The fourth legend behind MahaShivratri is the event of Ganga Avataran. The legend of Ganga's descent from the heavens into the earth has been narrated in the Hindu mythological epic of Ramayana.
Flowing originally in heaven, and therefore called Swarganga. The heavenly Ganga, the river, was brought down to earth by the severe penances of Bhagirath, great-grandson of the mythical monarch Sagar. According to Vedic scriptures, in the past age, in Satyuga, lived a king named Sagar, king of Aud, the 13th ancestor of Lord Rama. He performed a holy yajna, the Ashwamedh yajna or horse sacrifice, 99 times. The ceremony consisted of sending a horse, the symbol of his power, around the world, challenging to all the earth to arrest its progress. If the horse returned unopposed, it was understood to be an acceptance of the supremacy of the king. Now the king made preparations for the 100th yajna. Sagar, wishing to attain the title of universal monarch, arranged to perform a horse sacrifice. Consecrating the right horse, he loosened it to wander, flee all over the earth, guarded by 60,000 sons. The roaming of a sacrificial horse for a year symbolized the sovereignty of a monarch. Over all the lands the horse wandered and challenged Indra, the Lord of Heaven. Jealous of the power and glory that Sagar would gain by the successful completion of the sacrificial, and afraid that the king might seek for dominion in heaven itself, carried the horse away and left it to grave in the underworld near the hermitage of Kapila, a mighty sage who, having adopted a vow of complete silence, was performing austerities. Searching high and low on earth and not finding the horse, the 60,000 princes went down into the underworld, and seeing Kapil, asked if he had seen their father's sacrificial horse. When annoyed by the sage's silence, they insulted him. Kapil opened his eyes in anger and burned them all to ashes. After waiting for several years, The old king sent his eldest grandson, Amsumat, in search. Amsumat recovered the horse and brought back news that the ashes of his uncles were lying unconsecrated for want of their proper funeral rites, and that only the holy waters of the heavenly river could purify them so that their souls would go to heaven. His son Bhagirath undertook the task of bringing Ganga to earth, performing hundreds of years of severe penance in the Himalayan mountains until the goddess, pleased, agreed to come down. If someone could support her fall so that its force would not shatter the earth's surface and destroy her life, nobody could be found fit to do this except Shiva, who, as a lord of beings, possessed the power to support Ganga's descent. Bhagirath went back to the mountains to perform more austerities, this time to please Shiva. Shiva agreed to bear the river on his head and let her flow down gently to the earth. But Ganga, exulting in her own power, fell on Shiva's head with such force that he, the god, infuriated, bound her up in his matted locks. Bhagirath left his kingdom and once more began a series of penances to make Shiva relent, and succeeded. The great god unbound one of his locks to allow part of the river to flow down gently. Chastened, Ganga followed Bhagirath to where the unconsecrated ashes of his ancestors lay in the underworld in a pile. But then was not the end of Bhagirath's trials and tribulations. On her way, the river inundated the sacrificial grounds of another irascible sage, Jahanu, who was performing sacrificial rites at that moment and was swallowed up in one mouthful by him. She was yet another bout of hardship of penance for Bhagirath. The sage, pleased with his dedication and loyalty to the family, relented and let the river out through 1 year. Hence the river was reborn as it were, as a daughter of Jahanu. Her waters inundated and purified the ashes of Sagars, 60,000 souls, who were unable to reach heaven.
Last, the legend of Lord Shiva's assurance explains the popularity of Shivaratri festival amongst the devotees. Story goes that after creation was complete, Lord Shiva began to live on top of the Mount Kailash with his consort Parvati. One day goddess Parvati asked Shiva that his devotees perform many rituals to please the Lord, but which one pleases him the most? To this Lord Shiva replied that the 14th night of the new moon, during the month of Phalgun, in his favorite day. The day is celebrated as Shivaratri. On this day, devotees observe strict spiritual discipline and worship Shiva in 4 different forms during each of the 4 successive 3-hour periods of the night. Lord further said that the devotees offer him bilva leaves on the day and that those leaves were precious to him than the precious jewels and flowers. Thank you for watching the video. If you like the video, please subscribe to my channel and stay tuned for more such interesting contents.